Hey everyone, I've been getting questions as to what I'm using to film and edit all my runs, so I figured I'd do a quick video. By no means am I a professional photographer or videographer. I just like running, I like messing with cameras and making videos. So what I'll do is I'll show you exactly what I'm using to film all this. One of the things I recently purchased was a case, because in the past I've been too cheap to buy one because the Pelican cases are expensive, and I've been carrying things around in my backpack or in an Amazon box with towels around it, and it just kind of became a pain. And Harbor Freight recently introduced these Apache cases, and they're very similar to Pelican. They've got really cool padding, they've got locks all over them. You can put a padlock on it right here, and it works really well. It's got foam inserts. I'll show you pictures of that, but this is the most recent purchase I have made for doing these videos, and I love it so far. So let's hop into it. What am I using? I'm using the Canon M50 for most of my videos. I used to use the Sony a6500, which is a beautiful camera. It's actually what I'm recording with right now, but the problem with the a6500 is that you can't see what you're recording. See, if you look at this right now, I am recording. I have to have an additional monitor, on the camera, and that doesn't work when you're out in public and you're trying to, or you're out videoing and you want to know that you're in the frame. So I moved a while ago to the Canon M5, and that was good. It's now my backup camera. The Canon M5, which is mirrorless as well, was great, but the only problem was that the screen flips up. And at first I didn't think that would be a big deal, but then I realized if you want a microphone, you can't have the screen up to see what you're looking at if the microphone's on. So then I had to have a bracket with a microphone on the side, and it was really bulky and a pain if I wanted to change the batteries or anything like that. So while the M5, the video quality is great, it's small, the LCD not flipping to the side was a real pain. So I decided to upgrade to the M50, and that has the flip to the side. So now you put the microphone on the top and you can still see yourself. So this has become my main camera. The M5 is the secondary camera. The Sony, which has amazing quality, is pretty much my wife's camera now for taking pictures of the kids, things like that. I use it every once in a while like this. But the second thing that I recommend is a little tiny mini tripod. I use it as a stick, selfie stick a lot of times, but it's just perfect because you can maneuver it around. This is low cost. I'll put a link on below from Amazon. My go-to action camera is the Hero7 from GoPro. I've had the Hero3, the Hero5 in great light outdoors. The image quality always looked great, but their image stabilization was always brutal, right? You could not run with the camera. Skiing videos look cool, all these other videos, but to take this thing without using a gimbal and all of that and go run with it just did not work. I was never ever happy with the footage. So when the GoPro Hero7 came out, it has unbelievable internal image stabilization. In my opinion, just as good as a gimbal for running when I'm holding it. It works really well. So the Hero7, then I got this little accessory tripod, which just sits on the below and can be used as a selfie stick as well. I don't really like the bigger sticks, I mean, it makes nice images when it's out there, but the problem is you gotta carry that. I gotta put that in my pack, and it's big. This, I can just right in the front of my pack, and I'm off and running, pull it out, put it back. It works really, really well, and by far the best action camera I've seen, and highly recommend the GoPro 7 if you're doing any sort of running and trying to film. All the other GoPros look terrible as far as image stabilization. I haven't seen another action camera that works this well. The only thing I've seen video-wise, which is something I did purchase from a stabilization standpoint was the Rilo 360 camera. I've been seeing 360 cameras. I thought they were really cool. So this Rilo has two lenses, one on the front and one on the back. And it looks incredible as far as being able to create really cool pans. Now, low light does not work very well. All the motion stabilization is done in software, and low light, I just don't think there's enough light or contrast, whatever it is, to allow them to do really good motion stabilization. Where daylight, it looks pretty good. I haven't used it all that much. There is a little bit of stitching that occurs on where the two lenses and the video is put together, and you do deal with that kind of fisheye, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think for minimal shots, the 360 camera is okay. You know, with that curved lens, that's one thing I like about the GoPro in linear. You can do some basic lens correction, and the video looks really good. This, on the other hand, takes cool video, but the editing process, which is done on an app on your phone, does take longer. You have to edit every clip. If you're not just going to upload a 360 video to YouTube, you actually have to set your waypoints, basically where you want the video to be, and you can do some cool pans and things, but all of that is done prior to exporting the video from the app off the phone. Then you've got to get that and edit that in with the rest of your clips. So right now, limited use for me, only because I want to produce content quick, and I'm not always in great light, and the GoPro does better in low light. So the Rilo 360, while it's really cool, it takes a lot of extra work to get it going. The other thing I use is, obviously, my iPhone is a iPhone 7, and I use that when I'm out and I have nothing else. You know, there really isn't really any good motion stabilization, so I try to use it to be nice and still, but or if I'm just setting it up, the 4K video looks great, but I don't really like it for moving around, just because the quality of the there is no quality for there is no stabilization, so I don't really like the videos bouncing around that much. So I don't use my phone all that much for anything action-wise, just really only if I have nothing else to use. So if you're just looking to do some filming while you're running, you know, you can use your phone, that works, but if you want to step it up, I recommend the GoPro Hero7. It's been the best thing I've seen for doing running videos so far, and it's small, so that's what I would recommend if you're looking for something to start doing some action videos, especially for running. That's it. That's everything I use. I do have a light up here. It's a inexpensive light from Amazon that I can put a link to, but it is just providing a little bit of front light, just because the videos look so much better. I have another little light here that I use, and as far as the case, let's take a look at the case. So in the case, it's really easy to pull the foam pieces out, and you can basically make spots for all your gear and extra batteries. I've got my chargers, I've got my spot for the Rilo, the GoPro, my main camera, which is my Canon, and I actually leave the microphone right on while it's in there to make it fast, so I don't have to put that on every single time. I just keep the cover here, my GoPro ready to go. I can keep extra batteries, a little tripod, everything right in there. It's super simple.